This is Susan Allen, National President and CEO of the U.S. Pan-Asian American Chamber of Commerce Education Foundation. We call ourselves US PAC. Welcome again to our business development program, Grow with Google. We have a great partnership with Google, who became a member of ours in 2016, way back when we were in California, holding our national conferences. And now this partnership has really matured into more collaborative work. A few weeks ago, you attended our first session about using analytics to define and find your customers and cater to their interests. How do you use analytics to better market your product and services? And last week, if you were here or if you heard our streaming video, you would have learned about how to create a compelling brand for your product and services, how to define your audience and convert them into your customers. Today, we're going to tell you how to build loyalty and advocate. And to take us down that journey is, again, Ryan Silvestre, a seasoned small business trainer. He's going to tell you all about it. And after you've done this session, 1, 2, 3, you're ready to go. Ryan?
Yep, absolutely. You know, you guys have no excuses to make $1 million now, right? All right, perfect. So let's get right into it. I'll share my screen and let's see. All right, perfect. So for those of you who remember, last week we introduced you to a mother-daughter team that started a business together. And it was actually, let me go back to this one more time. I apologize. Let's see, here we go. I think I'm going backwards. Let's see. Oh, I see. Okay, so the mother-daughter team that we met last week was Tracy and Danny, who made, just as a quick little refresher, they made cupcakes, but their aha moment or their big money moment was when they discovered that if they put the cupcake inside a mason jar on top of a unique customer experience, it also lasts a little bit longer, so their shelf life was extended. That got them on stage onto a TV show that got them a lot of publicity. And what they wanted to do is capture the last 2 phases of our customer journey. So as a recap, our customer journey is 4 steps. The first step is awareness. Awareness is just reminding me that you exist or introduce me to your brand for the first time. A lot of times, you know, we know of a brand, but we have the mindset of, you know, out of sight, out of mind. So that's part of the awareness journey. The second part is the conversion, or the, you know, assisting them with giving them information to make the decision. The last 2 steps that we're going to talk about today are the purchase point, you know, and the marketing tactics to help somebody make that final decision to actually make the purchase and repeat purchases. And then finally, the Holy Grail is going to be the advocacy part, which we're going to mention, which we're going to go into detail in a little bit. So let's get into it. So right now we're talking about the purchase phase. And during the purchase phase, the job that we have to have is knowing that the customer already went through the awareness and the consideration phases of their customer journey. And we should have an idea of what obstacles are they having at the checkout phase. So let's go into the next slide. So in this phase, your job as a marketer is to influence these leads and prospects to become paying customers, a process called conversion. So I like to be as engaging and as, you know, interactive with you guys as possible. So you guys can feel free to jump into the chat and let me know if anybody has done a conversion phase or a conversion part of their marketing plan. That helps me kind of guide the conversation a little bit to see where I can spend a little bit more time. So you can simply put 1 if yes or 2 if no. Okay, so to convert customers, you'll first need to figure out which leads are most likely to become customers and focus on your marketing efforts with those people. If you guys remember, I mentioned last week that I used to work for an investment banker on Wall Street. And what we had in our CRM, CRM is a client retention management software. You know, this is our software that we use to maintain all the customer information. What we would do in order for to stay in light of who is close to that conversion stage, is that as we would capture information, we would label them A, B, C, and D. A being a very high likely conversion rate, and they would get a very unique or specified type of marketing tactics and messages and attention from us, where the C's and D's were still needed a little bit more handholding, so they would still get more information to help get them over the hump and get them to the purchase phase. So to do this the right way, you need to identify a key customer and the key actions that lead to these conversions. Then you're going to share your the right marketing message, like I just mentioned, in a timely, very important, time is key here, call to action to encourage a purchase for those customers who are ready to make that final lead. Finally, you'll convert more customers when you streamline the purchase and make it as easy as possible for them. So many times I've made it to the last phase of a checkout, but they're asking for so much information that it turns me off and I just walk away. And I could have bought something from that customer, but because that checkout process was a little bit more difficult because they were asking for more information, I decided to walk away. So a lot of times you'll see that a lot of new websites are having the feature where you could check out as a guest and not have to put in so much information. So let's go over these steps in more detail. How do you know when a customer is at this point in their journey? So it's very easy to identify a brand new customer, but I need to look at certain behaviors to see what points in the journey are they, so I know how to talk to them. Key signals that may trigger this would be some of the ones that we have here. For example, signing up for an email list might be a good indication that they are pretty close to making that purchase decision. Completing a form like a request for a quote, downloading content, signing up for a free trial or a demo account, downloading your app if you guys have apps, calling or emailing to schedule consultation. These are all behaviors that are indicative of I am close to the pricing part of my customer journey. I'm not pricing, the checkout part of my customer journey. So it's important to remember that these actions won't always be online. For Wicked Good Cupcakes, key action could be visits into the store itself. When Wicked Good Cupcakes looked into the customer actions, they saw some website visitors that were placing things in their shopping cart, but never really checked out. So we have to find out, why are they not checking out? And it could be a variety of different reasons, but it's our job to reach out and find out and look at the behaviors. One of the things that we can use is Google Analytics, which we'll talk about more in a moment, to see what their traffic pattern is on your website. So we'll see how long they're lasting on one side of a page versus another side, which could be used for a psychoanalysis of that customer. So let's go into the next slide. So once you identified customers are ready to make the purchase, it's time to share content and call to actions that are designed to convert them. As I mentioned earlier, Wicked Good Cupcakes sent coupons out to people who abandoned the shopping carts, which is something that I actually forgot to mention. But so one of the things that they that could be used at this point would be any other incentives, which could be things like free shipping. It could be things like a discount coupon, and a good tactic also is to incorporate email marketing into the mix at this point. So if they did something at the checkout phase and they did capture, or you guys did capture their information, you can send them an email, in about maybe a few days or a week's time, and say that we can't hold these items for very much longer. Would you like to, take advantage of a 10% off coupon code if you act now? Those are the type of incentives that we really want to see in order to get that customer to convert into a paying customer, or that prospect into a paying customer. You could also send an invitation for special webinars or even special products that are exclusive to just your customers, or just repeat customers. So think about what else you could offer as a value-added service. Things like free tutorials. They could test products out, before anybody else could. So these are things that make people feel a little bit special because they get exclusive insight to something that the rest of the market doesn't get. And that, again, it's on the way to creating a good advocate for you. You also need to decide where you're going to share this content with your audience. Once you identified that they're ready to convert, consider marketing and advertising channels that let you reach a very curated audience. You could use email marketing platforms as well as digital platforms like Google Ads. And it's very important because we want to make sure that we specify the right audience on the right channel. So oftentimes we'll see a commercial for the same movie in the daytime and in the evening, and the commercial is a little bit different, or sometimes, on one channel versus another channel. And it's a little bit different because we're trying to key in to the emotional trigger words or phrases or concepts that get that audience to respond. So we find out where the audience is and what are those emotional trigger concepts. So let's go into the next one. There are a lot of elements that go into conversion, but one of the easiest ways to convert customers is to make the purchase process as simple as possible. You can create a hassle-free online checkout experience by reducing the number of steps. Like I mentioned before, just simply eliminating the need to capture email. And email is very important, but if it becomes an obstacle, always give them an option. People, like we said before, if you guys remember, nobody likes to be sold, but we all love to buy. So give me as much freedom and choices, when making something happen. I was also part of a meeting a few weeks ago, actually several months ago, with the CEO of ZipRecruiter. And one of the things that he was mentioning is that in order for his company to establish the position that it has today, it constantly looks at ways to make its process easier and easier and simpler. So by taking things out, so constantly be looking at your business plan and your website and your business model and say, what noise is happening here and how can I make the experience that much easier for my customer? So when Wicked Good Cupcakes wants to make it faster and easier for the customers to complete their purchase, they reduce the number of total steps at the checkout. They continuously test other checkout options and tweak the process based on their results. For example, they added an option for customer purchases with a gift card or personalizing a video that was sent to them via email as a receipt. So they were doing these things to see how people would respond at the checkout phase. They used, this is the most important part, they used Google Analytics to see how those changes affected their sales and made the necessary adjustments as the data came in. So I'll show you a little bit about the Google Analytics in a little bit, but ultimately the conversion works best when you create a stellar experience up to this point. So I'm going to make sure that customers always feel special. Now, this is also very important and we have to be very mindful of where you are, what segments of the industry are you in. For example, with Wicked Good Cupcakes, it's a gourmet cupcake. So I would expect more gourmet services and more gourmet, a white glove treatment with the customer experience. So the price point has a lot to do with what the rest of the formula looks like. If you guys remember the 4 P's of marketing that we spoke about before, the price, product, place, and promotion, all these P's have a weighted average that affects the other one. So depending on what the price point is, it affects where the product place is and what the product design looks like and what the promotion tactics are going to be. So these are things that we want to keep in the back of our mind at all times. So let's go into the next slide. We've talked about what you should do to convert customers, but now let's look at a tool that helps you accomplish it. Google Analytics is a free tool that helps you identify key customer actions that happen on your website. It's one of the most popular website analytic tools available. I use it constantly. And it allows you to connect a dashboard that measures information and tracks the customer journey on your website. Like I mentioned before, this will let you know that the customer lasted 2 minutes on this page or 2 seconds on this page. These are the most popular links that are clicked, or this is the traffic. This is where they're coming from. This is the demographic data. So it's a lot of things that you can use to then cater a message that really resonate well with your audience. So things that we want to look at is on a regular basis. I would say, personal opinion, bare minimum quarterly. And the reason I say quarterly is because your taxes are filed quarterly. A lot of financial reports are done quarterly. And a lot of bigger companies update their business plan, which includes the marketing plan, on a quarterly basis. Taste changes, demands change, and the traffic patterns that are coming to your website will also be a result of those changes. So it's very important to be mindful of our plan on a quarterly basis and then make the adjustments as needed. So Google Analytics can help you do a better job at marketing throughout the entire customer journey, like I just mentioned. Specific to the purchase phase, Google Analytics provides insight into customer actions that will lead to that conversion, helps to identify the customers when they're ready to start to convert, and lets you analyze the conversion process so that you get more people to complete the actions that you want them to do on their business, that call to action. When you guys have a chance, and not now, obviously, you got to listen to this, but after the seminar, go to g.co/analytics, and then you can read and a little bit more about it. Let's see, did we get feedback on the question that I asked before? Let's see if we got anything yet. I don't think we have. Nope. Okay. So I was just checking the notes. Let's see. Okay. So for the next phase, another Google tool that can be useful for driving conversions is Google Ads. One of the advantages of digital advertising is the ability to deliver specific content to specific groups of people. Like I mentioned before, it's very important that we're saying the right message to the right group, and Google Ads will do this, really easily with all the data and tools that they have available at their resources. So one of the advantages is efficient use of your time and efficient use of your dollars. So this lets you show ads to the right people at the right time, making it more likely that they'll convert into a paying customer. For example, you can use Google Ads to put sales messages and incentives in front of people searching for the product that's similar to yours. And I'm sure a lot of people have noticed that when you search something on Google, as an example, or anywhere online, the moment we'll go to another site like YouTube, the ads are now showing exactly what you were looking up before, which happens to me all the time. So this is the idea of being very efficient. So if I was looking for new cups, and I just went to YouTube to look up something completely different, the ad that might pop up would be about cups. And that's exactly what I'm referring to. So there are many formats that we can use these ads. YouTube is just one of them. We have text ads, image ads, regular shopping ads, video ads, just to name a few. There are special types of campaigns too. One of them you may recognize is called remarketing. So what remarketing is an ad that gets delivered to you based on whatever website you're on. That's a direct result of the website from that company a few moments later. So for example, if I go to abc.com, because I was thinking about buying something from abc.com, and now I go to something else completely different, I might get a pop-up ad about ABC. That's remarketing, and that's a very powerful tool. So when you connect your Google Ads to Google Analytics account, you'll start to see a lot of the details directly, and you'll be able to make more efficient decisions, which again leads to a healthier bottom line. Again, when you guys have time after the webinar, go to ads.google.com and you can find a little bit more about that process. Okay. Here we go. So we're on the final phase now of the customer journey, the Parkour Advocacy. This is I would say, in my opinion, the most valuable and important part of the entire customer journey, because this is essentially going to be free marketing for you guys, because you have your other customers, sometimes even employees, that are not buying from you, advertising for you. And people will always listen to somebody else that's not on your payroll, because I expect you to tell me that you're good. No one that says my product is kind of okay. People say my product is amazing, but I expect you to say that. But when somebody else says it, that's always that always resonates a little bit more with new potential customers. So this is what we're going to talk about now. Let's go into the next slide. Okay. So by giving customers more to consume and making their experience great, you can sustain their business and earn their loyalty. Loyal customers think of your brand first over all others, and that's true with almost any customer experience that we think of. Where some people are very loyal to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever the brand is, so they're thinking more brand first and then everything else second, because they're invested emotionally into that brand. So this will encourage them to promote your brand and products to other people they know. If I'm again a big Dunkin' Donuts fan, I'm going to tell the people, hey, can you get me, the big box of Joe or something along those lines. So let me see. Do we have? I'm seeing if we have the participation yet from the other Q&A, the polls. Oh no, just check just check in case anybody is chiming in. I want to make sure that you guys don't feel ignored. Let's see. All right. So all customers are not created equal. A customer who says that they're interested in engaging with your brand will usually continue shopping with you as long as you provide lots of value for your business. So how do you create this value? And how do you have different types, or how do you identify different types of customers? We have to provide to them the value in the message before and at this point after the transaction has been done. So in most cases, people feel, most small businesses that are new to business, I got to the finish line and I made the sale. And I stopped marketing, I dropped the ball. That's where the more experienced businesses, or the businesses that have resources or consultants with experience, pick up the ball and keep on running, because that's when you start doing most of your marketing. You're doing follow-up, emails on how is your experience with this product? What else would you change? And we're constantly tweaking. We do this here at USPAC all the time, where we're asking people, was this time good for the webinar? What other topics would you like to hear? How was the speaker? Because that gives us information back. So yeah, we can tweak the content so that's more impactful for you guys. Ultimately, you want to keep your customer happy, engaged, and buying from you. And we're always selling something. It's not just a physical product. Happy customers will often naturally tell other people about their experience, but you can nudge them to do this with the more focused marketing. So, some people are very happy with the product, but sometimes we get lazy, and there's little pushes that we'll talk about in a moment that can help them say, hey, leave a review as an example. So you can identify customers who are ready for this phase based on the number of purchases they've made from you, how long they've been a customer, and if they're speaking out on social media about your brand. Okay. So building this type of customer loyalty can be done in a number of ways, and relies on the entire customer experience being stellar up until this point. If they don't have, or if they didn't have a good checkout experience, had trouble with the product, and didn't get any help that they needed after they had problems, or felt ignored. That's another big one too, that I see is very, very common with a lot of small businesses, even on social media, where they're leaving comments and people are not responding. That leaves that feeling where this brand doesn't really care about me that much. These are the people that won't be advocates for you. So these are the identified areas that we can go back and cater to those areas specifically. So at this phase, you want to be focused and deepen your relationship with your customer, getting to know them, letting them get to know you, and keeping them happy and engaged. You can do this by staying in touch, whether on whatever channel it is that you're meeting with this customer through, and share your content that's valuable to your paying customer. It could be something as simple as a product tutorial. It could be video guides, explanations, or just insight on a new product launch. I recently bought a new program, and every, I feel like every other day, I'm getting a video email saying, hey, did you know you could do this? So they're just following up, even though I already made the purchase, they're just still following up because they want to make sure that I turn into that good advocate that we're talking about now. Providing top-notch customer service will positively impact customer loyalty. So think about questions like, did they get the help that they needed? Are you providing all the answers to their questions? Did they feel great about their purchase and interactions with you and your brand, or with your brand, depending on the size of your company? If you don't know the answers to these questions, it's a great time to do some feedback. Asking your customers how they're doing is what you can do to increase the valuable relationship feeling they have with your brand. It will help you continually improve your offerings, your service, and your overall brand, which will also help build customer loyalty because it shows that you're listening and that you care about them. Lastly, think about how you can delight your customers in an unexpected way to further deepen your relationship, to differentiate you from your competitors. I might have mentioned Tesla in the last time, but they do this to almost a textbook, perfect, format, I guess. Not only do they follow up afterwards with a lot of emails, or phone calls and text messages, like I mentioned before, the CEO directly, Elon Musk, will respond himself to a lot of the social media questions and posts. But what he does that most people don't do is that they'll come up with special products that are only available to their customers. A Tesla surfboard as an example, or something along those lines. So that gives me a feeling of exclusivity that I belong to a certain club. And then that makes me more of an advocate because I'm on the inside. So I'm bragging about my inside experience. So let's go into the next slide. Okay. So loyalty programs and incentives will help you sustain your customer loyalty you've built by helping them feel. Oh, sorry. So loyalty programs and incentives will help you sustain the customer loyalty that you've built by helping them feel special. You could create a loyalty program based on VIP or exclusivity, like those are the examples I just mentioned. Something that offers a product or a sneak peek into what's to come, or helping them have in hand in designing what your next product is going to be called, or what it looks like, or how it's marketed. These are the internal feel-good moments that we're talking about. Personalization will go a long way. You also want to consider things like sending personalized notes with purchases for special offers on birthdays and anniversaries. Again, what I can do to help that conversion. But I also want to take a moment and just double down on what I said before. Your product and your segment within your industry has a lot to do with how these tactics will end up looking. So this is a general template for that fits most. We always have to tweak it to your specific needs. If what your store is selling is just value, the lowest price good, then the messages that we're putting out as a brand is always then we have the best value for you. But there are different pricing models that each pricing model, this could be a homework assignment for you guys. So look up pricing models as a general inquiry, and then look up pricing models that relate to your business or your segment within the industry. Am I a luxury brand or a value brand? And then how does that pricing model affect my brand positioning? And then that feeds into what tactics on the conversion side and throughout the entire customer journey will I be implementing. And at the end, we'll have time for Q&A, so I can address this specifically to anybody who's watching and has questions about how does this apply to me. So once your customers feel taken care of, even delighted, they'll be more open and encouraged to recommend your brand to people they know. This is what I mentioned before. These are now your free, your free sales team. This is so powerful because your current customers are likely associated with people that are part of your target market. So I know other people that are similar to me. So if I buy a pair of running shoes, chances are I know another runner. So when I start to talk about how good the pair of sneakers are that I just bought, I'm usually making that message to other potential customers that you're going to have. So that's very important. So in fact, 92% of customers trust word of mouth recommendations over any other type of marketing, which is what I mentioned before. It's very easy for you to say that your product is great and amazing and the world's best and whatever other accolades you want to use. But when other people say that you are, fantastic. Which, by the way, on a little side tip, trying to get as many testimonials as possible and then updating them on your website frequently is a good way to also help your SEO, search engine optimization tactics. That frequency at which we update our website. But at the same time, the double whammy here is that we're going to also provide a stage for that voice to live on our website, on our online real estate, that these other people are saying that my product is good. So there are important reasons not to just focus on sustaining loyalty, but encouraging the advocacy. Happy customers will naturally spread positive word of mouth. Of course, the opposite is also true, but that's another opportunity. There's expressions, when life gives you lemon to make lemonade. So when we get bad reviews, which we will, it's almost impossible to make everybody happy. How you handle it online, which is the whole new other course, also can be an opportunity to show to the world that I, as a brand or I, as a leader of my company, manager of this office, care about you because we're going to try and resolve it. Don't defend yourself, but say, that sounds like an interesting point. We're going to look into it. Please give me a call here directly, and we'll see what we can do to take care of it. That type of product resolution or conflict resolution goes a long way. So that's when people are not saying the positive word of mouth. So we're turning that into a positive. So you can help your customer spread spread the good word by putting opportunities to advocate for your brand in front of them. Start by asking your customer to leave something as simple as an online review. As I mentioned, there's different blogs that they can live on, or they can live, or those reviews could be directly on your website. Consider asking your best customer for a testimonial or permission to use their experience as a case study. You can also create a referral program that incentivizes your customers to pass along messages and offer the product or the service to their friends. Contests and social media sharing opportunities with prize incentives are also a good way to help them get motivated into pressing out the experience that they had with their cupcakes. So let's see, slide. Okay. So encouraging customers to leave you a review on Google and interacting with them through your business profile is a great way to start. Your happy customers become advocates for your business through the reviews that they leave, which can become a great way for new customers to learn about you and start to build that trust. Responding to your reviews in a timely and professional manner shows customers that your business listens to feedback and can positively influence potential customers. Keep your replies short and sweet, and you can use it as an opportunity to share more solutions and resources or other new ways of benefits to use your product. You can ask your customer to leave a review or avoid doing so. Your replies are simple but powerful way to build brand loyalty and encourage advocacy. Let's see. I think we got something in the chat. Let's see. Yep. Okay, no. It's a question that we'll address in a little bit. Okay. So your customers are not the only ones that can become brand advocates. Employees, partners, and vendors are great candidates for brand advocacy. Even if they aren't actual customers, they have an intimate knowledge of your brand and how they can encourage other people to become advocates for you as well. Paid influencers and affiliates are another form of advocacy. Influencers are typically people who have influence among your target audience, and the content that they share with your brand could be valuable to your potential customers. Now, an easy one, or something I want to mention here, is that a lot of influencers tend to be out of the reach of most startups. If we're starting a business for the first time, we are usually low on time and money, or at least we all have a finite amount of time and money. So it's easy to see who the biggest influencer is in your industry or that's in front of your clientele. But a trick would be to find out who are the local celebrities and the local influencers. There might be a person that's very popular just within your city or your town. Those are the people that we want to reach out to, because it's going to be easier to pay that bill to talk to the influencer if it is a paid sponsorship or some type of a paid promotional piece than it is to the bigger ones. But we don't ever want to discount the bigger ones. I have a client that reached out to a ton of people, and out of all the people that they reached out to, Jennifer Lopez actually responded and became a brand advocate for, and she has it on her Instagram post, using a product that my customer was using or was manufacturing. So we want to go after everybody, but be mindful of your time and money. And the lowest hanging fruits are your local influencers. Another one that I want to mention, this one is really, really important, is COIs. So your COIs stands for Centers of Influence. These are the people that are going to be like an influencer, but in the business world, it's usually referred to more as another organization, like certain attorneys, accountants, or plumbers, or chefs. Those are the COIs. Those become also brand ambassadors for you and can start to refer business back to you. So those are other targets that we can fine tune a marketing plan for. That say, how I will provide value back to you, how I can help you, and how can we help out each other, because that's always what we want to do. We always want to have a message of what's in it for me. And that's that. And if anybody took a marketing class, there's a concept called WFM. What's in it for me. So we always want to show what these potential COIs, what's in it for them, and how am I either going to help you do business easier, how I'm going to be a problem solving for you. But very important, identify your customers, identify your influencers, and identify your COIs. Affiliates are another one. So affiliates are typically people in your industry that have a wide reach of, or a lot of traffic to the website. That's the same traffic that you want to take advantage of. Now, with affiliates, they usually receive a percentage of the sales that they generate through their advocacy. So affiliates are a little bit different, but if you guys want to learn a little bit more, that's affiliate marketing. And then we're backlinking or linking services from one site to another site. But the important part is take your time to identify who these advocates are going to be, and then you can unleash your marketing, greatness onto them, and then they'll be able to help push your brand further along. Okay. Sorry. So we've come to the end of the customer journey. As you can see, there's a lot of marketing that you can do to influence the customer journey to ensure that your customer stays as a ongoing repeat customer a little bit later on. So beware, customers become aware of your product. They'll consider to buy from you, something that can help them along with the purchase phase. And then more importantly, how to become advocates at the end. And so customer-focused marketing for the awareness and consideration phases of the customer journey starts by defining who your customers are and creating a brand that speaks to them. So very important. I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but the tone of your brand should always be consistent, based on who my audience is, that I want to speak to them. So if we look at different brands, some brands even hire comedians to do a lot of their posts because they want to have a fun type of brand voice and tone that speaks to their audience. Sometimes my brand audience would be a little bit more conservative, and we want to go straight for the facts. So very important that we understand who we're speaking to and maintain that tone consistently through the life of the company. You'll need to get your business online in order to do most of these things that we're talking about, but more importantly, to reach your audience and find your audience. Like we mentioned before, you can't find what you cannot define. So we're going to define our customers, and then while our business is online, using Google Analytics that we just spoke about a little while ago, we're going to be able to continually monitor them to see if there's any patterns in who is my customer, if there's any changes in demographics with who is my customer, if there's any changes in economic trends and buying behavior, which all feeds into how I market my product, and then more importantly, how I help them along with the customer journey. Spending time listening to prospective customers and learning about them so that you can communicate effectively and deliver valuable content. All of this works to develop strong relationships with your customers in hopes that they move forward to the next phase of their customer journey. In the last two phases of a customer journey, your marketing is focused on converting your customer and turning them into brand loyal advocates. Not all people who show initial interest in your brand will move forward into these phases. Think about every 16-year-old kid that goes to a Lamborghini website, not really ready to become a customer, but we want to monitor those behaviors, and that's what lets us start to maneuver something that's effective. But they can become brand advocates, like I mentioned before. A brand advocate doesn't have to be just a customer. It's just people that are going to be speaking about your brand. So in that case, that's a great example, because that 16-year-old kid who can't buy that Lamborghini will absolutely be posting Lamborghini, ads or not ads, but pictures and whatnot to fuel that, that demand for that product. And that's what we want to do. So every opportunity is always an opportunity. Then you want to identify those customers so that you can share timely call to actions and pave the way to a purchase. You'll want to make sure that the purchase process is streamlined and easy so you don't lose anyone in the process. Once you've landed on a customer, keep them happy, satisfied, and they can build that customer loyalty. Implement programs and incentives to sustain their loyalty and encourage them to become an advocate for your brand. You can create advocacy programs that are similar to one to another, but they each have to have their own distinguishing look and feel. So the way that we market the motivational tactics to an influencer versus a COI would look a little bit different, but the message is always going to be the same. Ultimately, their advocacy will lead to more customers entering the awareness phase of the customer journey for the next person, and keeping that pipeline always filled. Okay. So grow your skills, grow your digital skills, no matter where you're located. Through online workshops, you can learn skills that can help you stay connected and productive throughout the journey of your business evolution. Curious about what workshops are from home and are available to you? You can go to g.co/grow on air for our current virtual digital workshops and their descriptions. So we also have with the US PAC a calendar of events and workshops that are going to be available. So I encourage everybody. It was now. Yep, thank you, Karan. It's posted in our chat. So if we go to that link, we'll be able to take note of what's on the horizon, and also network and be able to continue to grow with our business. So let's see. And if you want to sharpen your business skills and marketing skills, this one actually I've used before. This is a great one. Check out Premiere. This is a free app you can download on your phone. If you have an Android device, you can download it at Google Play. If you have an Apple device, you can go to the App Store. And it's a series of mini lessons. They're about 5 minutes long, and they're just like pop quizzes, and it's just teaching you a little bit about business skills. I've used it, just to make sure that I don't miss any low-hanging fruit, any easy little tips of the trade that I can pick up. And you can do it at home. So you can go by visiting g.co/premiere/from home and download the app. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Lastly, this workshop is brought to you by Grow with Google, an initiative that helps people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their businesses. Job seekers can find jobs, teachers can teach better, small businesses can open and grow their businesses, startups can start, and developers can develop. So to learn more about this, go to google.com/grow, and you'll see all the different tools that they have available for you guys. Okay, and that, my friends, is the last slide of the presentation. So now it's time for your questions. Make them good questions, make them hard questions, or easy questions. I'm fine with easy questions too. So let's see, what do we got? Okay. Okay. I'm looking through our chat and through our questions to see what I can pull from. And as Ms. Allen mentioned, I am a consultant and educator within the small business space for, I don't know, maybe 15 years now. But I also am an entrepreneur myself. So I've been in the shoes that you guys are in. And I consistently buy and sell businesses. So I am on the front line. So if you guys have questions, I know the feeling that you guys are in, and I know what's worked for me directly and what hasn't worked. So does anybody have any questions on this? Let's see. Can I encourage you? Oh, wait, I got something here. So how can I encourage my customers to leave reviews so I can better leverage my reviews? So that's a good question. So what I try to do is I try not to incentivize, but I try to motivate, and there's a little bit of a difference, So incentivize, usually in my mind at least, paints pictures of, here's a gift card, or here is, I don't know, 10% off or something along those lines. I try to ask, and just by asking, you'll get a lot of response. So I would say be consistent with the asks on my side. This is how I like to operate. I like to be very mindful with my time and dollars. But you never know which tactics work until you try them, because every industry is a little bit different. Every community has slightly different cultures, and different demographics also have different behavioral patterns. So trying my method, I would try the ask, just simply an email. Did you like it? I provide something of value, like a quick little video that might help them discover something about the product that they didn't know before, or one of those value videos, and just simply ask, can you take 5 minutes to leave your feedback so we can help you better next time, or something along those lines. If that doesn't respond well and resonate well with the audience, then I can move to the next lowest hanging fruit, the next cheapest or lowest cost tactic, which would be then a discount on a product. But I'm typically not a fan of discounts, because discounts, at least from my perspective, it depends on the market that we're in. It tends to have a cheapening feel. If we look at the premium brands never discount their products. We can't walk into a high-end luxury brand that says that this is the clearance rack. That just doesn't exist. But again, depending on the audience, there's different tactics that we would try. So I hope that answers that question. Let's see, I got something else here. Another one from Andy. Let's see. How do I better utilize social media to market my business? How can Google help me help me better market my business? Okay, so this one is a very important one, because not every platform is for every person. And although most people are on multiple platforms, depending on who you are, you're going to be on one platform more than another. So we have to look at our time value of money and our opportunity cost. So, again, finite time, finite money. So where are the majority of my target audience? What website are they on now? What social media platform are they on now? Most people by this time already know that, TikTok tends to be a young demographic, and Facebook a slightly older demographic. So depending on, but that's just the age, because the common thread between my customers might not be age. It might be economics. It might be education. It might be geography. So what is the identifying common thread behind all of my customers? Doing the research behind that. And sometimes the research could be done through your local libraries. There's a lot of powerful databases that they subscribe to that you don't have to pay for, but there are business insight reports that will show you this is the trend for this platform versus that platform. But I think the single most powerful way that you can use social media, as far as if I have to identify just one tactic, it would be engagement, and it's such a missed opportunity. So most people are posting and they're focused on the great post and the great quote and the great hashtags, which are all essential parts of having a good social media experience. But engaging with your customers is something that most people don't do, or taking the time to like other people's posts and leave a comment on other people's posts, especially if that post, has a lot of views. Your comment is going to be viewed by a lot of other people. So being engaging with your community, and not just the people that go to your page, I think is essential. I've grown my page significantly, just by doing engagements and not spending $1 on ads, just by strictly doing engagements. So I hope, Andy, that answers your question. Let's see. Let's see. Do we have anything else? Did I miss the question? Let's see. Can I encourage my customers? Okay. Nope. Okay. So how are we with questions? Let's see. I think that's it.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Ryan. Hi, how's everyone doing? How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I hope everybody's doing well too.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Ryan, for leading us through our Grow with Google module. You've really gone over a lot of great information, especially about this launching your business with customer focused marketing. I know last week you really went over a lot of information about the customer journey and how we bring people towards us, about how we can reach prospects and create awareness. And really, you hit it home last week with how to engage and influence them to join us. And then really today, I think all the insight that you shared with us about bringing full circle, about really converting and paving this pathway to this purchase process and this like sustaining loyalty and encouraging advocacy is exactly why we have you here with us and why we're doing the Grow with Google program. So
Which, by the way, that reminds me,
yeah,
this whole process, this whole Grow with Google, this is Google's advocacy marketing right now. They're providing value to you so that you guys can say, wow, Google really cares about me. And they're providing additional value to me so that we can go back and tell our friends, grow with Google. I actually personally went to the Grow with Google offices in New York City a couple of times. And I did the same thing. I became an advocate for them and I started to talk about them to different friends. So what they're doing right now is what you guys are doing. So take a page right out of their playbook.
Right out of the playbook and how you came back with us too.
Yep, exactly. There you go.
There you go, full circle. Anyways, for everyone who's joined us today on Grow with Google, we thank you so much for joining us. My name is Karen, and I'm your Vice President for Corporate Relations and Programs, and it's a pleasure to have Ryan and all of you join us today. Please leave us a like, leave us your comments, reach out to us at info@uspaacc.com. And I know we've left a lot of links in our chat box about our upcoming events. The next Grow with Google program is going to be on next Thursday, September 28th, and the 30th, which is reaching customers online with these Google tools. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Ryan. You're always a rock star when you're here with us. And we want to hear from you and the audience about how we're doing. What else can we do to better promote and propel your economic opportunities? And again, thank you for joining us today on behalf of US PAC. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, guys. Go make money.
Yep, go make money.
Exactly.
Take care.